viewers of STEMpower, this is STEAM TV program. I'm your host, Efrat Ashrat. Let's now get started with our today's episode. Have a nice day.
Typical 3D printer machine looks like this. This one is called an Ender 3 Pro 3D printer machine. It has three parts. I can say it has three parts. There is a drive system, which includes the stepper motors and the lead screws. Those two components are critical in making sure that the machine can execute a three-dimensional motion that is required for any 3D printing process. The other is the filament that you see on the top. It includes a drum and a filament that is rolled around it. So this filament is basically what the output physical object will be made of. So this is called a PLA plastic, which is a polylactic acid. So the filament will go through these pipings that you see around here, and a nozzle which is found around here under this will melt the filament and produce the necessary 3D model that we give it. So it has a power supply unit, it has a display, it has power cords and everything. The others are basic electronic components. So the main material that we use for 3D printing purposes is, as I said, the PLA plastic filament. Using this machine, we can produce various complex shapes. This is a 3D model of a knee prosthetic joint. It's very hard to do these kinds of things using conventional machining procedures, but using 3D printers, we can build very complex shapes, even more complex than this one. This is a single part. We can also build assemblies of various components. This is, for example, a gearbox that we printed using this machine. For such assemblies, it requires the printing of the individual parts, part by part, and then assembling them using the required procedure. So we can build such complex shapes too. So in order to print, there are certain procedures that we have to follow. We can see here that in the display there are many informations listed. The first one is, it tells us about the name of the device itself. It says Ender 3 Pro. Here are two temperature counters. The first one is the nozzle temperature counter, and the second one is the bed temperature counter. It says 0 now because it's not working. Both the nozzle and the bed are not heated to the value that is used for printing. Here is XYZ. It tells us about the coordinate of the nozzle point. Now it says 0, 0, 0 because it's at the origin and it's not working. FR 100% means it tells us about the speed of the fan, or the fan speed. Here are the bars that show the progress of the work with the time itself. So in order to print, we can use this manipulator here. We have to set the temperature first. For such works using PLA materials, we have to set the nozzle temperature to 200 degrees centigrade. We can rotate this knob in order to increase and decrease the temperature to the value required. The bed temperature must be 60 degrees centigrade for such works. And the fan speed, now it's at 0%, but I have to make it to 100%. Once we set these three parameters, we can go back to the main window and select the file or the 3D model that we want to print. So we can do that by selecting any files from the SD card. It has an SD card here. This is a storage device. We can download various 3D models, or we can produce our own 3D models and transfer it to this SD card. And we can find all the files that are stored in this SD card from this window. Now it says print from TF, that means print from the SD card. I can select or I can choose any file that I want to print. Now if I hit this one, since I already set the temperature of both the nozzle and the blade, it will start working in a while. Now you can see that both the nozzle and bed temperatures are increasing to the set temperatures. So once the nozzle temperature reaches 200 and the bed temperature reaches 60, the printing procedure will begin.
Dear viewers, it's our hope that you get something informative and educative from our episode today. And until we meet next week, please don't forget to watch any videos that might have missed before our YouTube channel, STEMpower Ethiopia. I was your host, Efrat Asrat. Have a nice day.